I really dig when a band writes their songs in such a way that suggests they don't leave anything to chance. Everything's kind of intentional in the sense that if they did something previously in the song, it's not how can we reuse this later in the song to fill more time. It's how can we bring it back with a sense of familiarity to the listener to bring them back to present space to where we are at this point in the song, but it feel familiar. That's how a song makes you want to hear it again. I think that's how songs get stuck in your head. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lowen University. Today, I'm taking on Karnivool, finally by request. I tallied them up, and Goliath won the most votes I've seen over the last few months. Goliath is from their second studio album, Sound Awake, released in 2009. Karnivool hail from Australia. I remember this album coming out and it being a lot of buzz. I might have listened to it, but this will be my first time in a very long time. So let's get to it. Goliath by Karnivool. C sharp. Ooh. Got something twisty with the time here. Ugh. You guys have included in your comments that their bassist, Jon Stockman, uses a Warwick thumb bass. I can hear that off the first note. However, he's got it pretty heavily processed and saturated with some really nice drive and grit on it, but I can hear that come in. And maybe I'm primed knowing he plays a Warwick, which is why I got mine out for this video. But that's classic, the way it cuts through and just really has that, again, as I've said in other videos, Warwick basses have that kind of hollow low end that doesn't muddy it up, and it's just kind of more cold and sterile, not in a bad way, but it allows it to kind of shine through in all the gaps left through by the other instruments. And that's just something that's very standout about the Warwick sound. Just like a hot knife through butter. Okay, this time signature is kind of twisty. It sounds like there's a couple little tags. I'm not going to spend a ton of time trying to figure it out, but let me go back and kind of hear that bass come in here. Seven, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 6, 7, 1, 2. Distracted by this great vocal melody. This kind of sounds like a 6 or 7 kind of thing here. I'm going to keep listening, but it almost sounds like they took an odd meter groove in the hi-hats. If I'm just going based off that hi-hat going tss, tss, that's kind of my guideline. If you kind of focus on that kick drum and the snare, it's coming in on the upbeat sometimes, it's waiting a minute, but if I just tune all that out and listen to that hi-hat, I'm counting phrases of 6 or 7, I think. What it looks like they did, or I should say what it sounds like they did, is they took an odd grouping of counts and they put a syncopated groove over that's kind of over the bar line. So it could really be anything, but it's giving it a really natural feel. What's really interesting about sometimes odd timing signatures can really groove. Sometimes they sound very prescribed and like intentionally odd meter, like 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. This has a really natural feel. If I wasn't doing an analysis video trying to really put my head around the music, I might have thought for a while this was just a 4/4 song with a tag at the end or something like that, because it's very natural. Airplane. Sorry about that. Planes fly overhead a lot. It happens. But yes, I love how natural this drum groove feels. And if the more you listen, the weirder it sounds. But if you just kind of feel the whole presentation of the song, it has this kind of swagger to it. So that's great writing, in my opinion, when you can make odd signatures groove and you can't tell what they are at first, but you just know it feels right. That's kind of what I'm getting from this song. Let's keep it going. This little thing on the right here. It's cool. that little bass fills and little tags are kind of what's showing me that there is something rhythmically as far as a tag that's not lining up with that groove, but they're adding in all these extra little layers. This kind of reminds me of like a more upbeat Tool song. It's kind of getting intense quicker, depending on the era of Tool, of course. But you guys said this in the comments as well, that they're like an Australian Tool. I don't like putting labels on bands like that too out of the gate, but I'm kind of primed again by you guys suggesting this on some of my Tool videos. Hey, if you like Tool, you should check out Karnivool. They're like a more rock version of them. And I can kind of hear those same elements. Great use of subtle layers coming in that just take everything and bring it up. And then another layer comes in and it's just adding to this buildup. And that bass tone chugging underneath is what's really the foundation of it all. I would say the drum part is more of a musical figure. As solid of a groove as that bass part is just like the constant thing kind of holding it down right here on that low C sharp. And if I play this song, I can kind of feel this groove if I don't try to think about it. So I can feel it, and it's like they're taking those accents and just kind of moving them over a count without dissecting that time signature too much. But all in all, it's a really great culmination of a lot of different elements. I feel that odd meter thing is kind of adding some tension rhythmically. I've talked about rhythmic dissonance in other videos where just the discombobulation of time and not being able to find the one sometimes adds to the tension of the harmonic stuff going on, the melodic stuff. So it's a really great binary thing to give a song a lot of build. These vocal melodies are just soaring. Like how that thing's making it major. This kind of had a darker C sharp. Is that a guitar or a synth or a pad? I didn't really hear it. I just heard the note. Giving it that kind of major tonality, which is interesting. Oh, there's a little. Love those little bass slides. Really good. He's kind of taking that tagged bass part that was a little bit in the intro and he's kind of working it into the groove now, giving that bass line a little more movement. We've been on that low C sharp a while now, just, again, being the constant around all this other stuff. Now he's kind of giving it a couple more notes, a little bit more footstep in the groove. Whoa, that started right when I unpaused it. Let me let it play into that kind of transition. Heard some different notes here. So the picture's coming into view now. We heard a lot of C sharp. I heard a C sharp minor. I'm sorry, major. Those layers, now we're kind of filling in the notes. The puzzle's kind of filling in. Which would typically be C sharp minor, but it's good to hear some of that other color from that scale come in. I heard some A major. That's an interesting bridge or something. Let's see. Yeah. Woo. Hell yeah, that's... That just took me by surprise. Oh my gosh, so catchy, the harmonies. It just, I don't know, that sounded just like ear candy, ear orgasm. Just like the way those harmonies and just the chords. And something that caught my attention is they kept that same groove going with those same accents that, again, just feel like they're a little bit over the bar line, but they work that rhythm into those chord changes. So instead of keeping it down here, they kind of added that same boom. It almost has a swing feeling to it, but they put that in those chord movements. Not even going to try to play what I remember hearing, but that was just a smooth songwriting thing. I'm hearing that songwriting is at the forefront here. Really well written, really good build. I mean, it's just the little elements they leave behind, they bring them back. Again, it's very Tool-like. I don't want to keep comparing them to that, but I'm just appreciating that part of their songwriting. I really dig when a band writes their songs in such a way that suggests they don't leave anything to chance. Everything's kind of intentional in the sense that if they did something previously in the song, it's not how can we reuse this later in the song to fill more time. It's how can we bring it back with a sense of familiarity to the listener to bring them back to present space to where we are at this point in the song, but it feel familiar. That's how a song makes you want to hear it again. I think that's how songs get stuck in your head. They do it within the context of the song, and it's like you're already familiar with it. You've heard an idea kind of presented multiple ways. Great songwriting, great structure stuff. A lot of bands just kind of write without thinking about that. They leave it to chance. Oh, we had an intro riff. Where did that go later in the song? Don't know. They're not doing this. They're keeping it very cohesive and homogenous as far as the composition. Really dig that, and I'm picking up on that more so in the rhythm here and the way it kind of extrapolates to these other parts of the songs. Just great. This is right up my alley, absolutely. Yeah, that part. Yeah. That little fill there. That's that same feel as the intro, just in a different, give it a facelift in a different part of the song here. Yeah. Ooh, nice dynamics here. Woo. Listen to that rhythm sauce there. What did that get? Duply for a minute? Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. That was cool. This is Smarty Pants rock. See, they're bringing that same feel back from the intro, just a different presentation. It makes the song feel like it's longer than it is. It's not like, oh, the song was over because I couldn't really attach to any idea. We're 3 minutes and 42 seconds in. It feels like I've been listening to this for a little bit longer because they've established that sense of familiarity that keeps coming back. I'm going to keep saying that because it's important stuff. And those vocals. Brought it down to that major third again. It was really cool, kind of cool. Right there. Did I miss it? No. There we go. Oh shit, this is cool. Lost the notes there. Wow. As I said earlier, I kind of remember when this came out, and a lot of my friends and peers were just really praising the album. I probably listened to a bit of it at the time, but I think more recently I've heard something off of their first album, Themata. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I knew in the back of my mind this band was just a really great, deep, kind of intellectual songwriting, just big overarching kind of delivery. And I see the Tool comparison that a lot of you have made. I think they take it a little bit more, again, rock. It's not so metal, and that's weird for me to say because it's really heavy, gritty tones. But I think it's the vocals, the having a lot of beautiful melody dynamics into it. Tool takes it kind of a more, I don't know how to put it. It's more of the sum of the parts, where there was just a lot of great soaring vocal stuff that could have just stood alone on its own and been really good. So not to get wrapped up in the genre stuff. I'm blown away by that groove. I never really figured out what it was, and I wasn't trying to because I wanted to hear the whole presentation. Some permutation of 7/7/7 with a tag that might have changed every time, but then they're taking that bass and bass drum accent with the snare, and it's kind of moving around. It's kind of ebbing and flowing over the bar line, maybe. I'm sure some of you will know because you've requested the song, but that was just fun to feel that when I stopped thinking about the groove, it felt really natural. I really like that about the song. And I love that they kept that same groove. As weird as it sounded when the song started, by the end of it, I wasn't even thinking about it in terms of being unnatural because they transported my sense of ground, my sense of one, my sense of time. And they worked it into all those future chord changes throughout the chorus. They nodded to it. And all of a sudden, that's what just felt natural. You know, I think that's just superb songwriting, superb self-awareness. Hey, we're going to take this really weird groove and we're going to just do it over and over and over again until it feels natural to you. That's another great way to use that stuff. Wow. I need to listen to the song again and just kind of see how it hits me just without analyzing it. But thank you guys for recommending this. I would love to do more of this band. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Love you all. Cheers, and we will see you next time.